I had a bit that I wanted to start with.
Okay.
If that's okay.
That's fine.
But before I do, I need to check something. The last time we posted was August 6th, 2020.
Dude, that's literally insane.
Yeah. Are you cool if I start the bit and then take the lead?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You ready?
Yeah. Do you want me to start to...
We got time up there.
Stopwatch.
I think it's okay.
Why am I nervous? It's probably because I'm not plastered.
You know what? That's better than the bit I wanted to start with.
No, it's not.
Hey everyone. I had this whole bit plan where I was gonna be like, oh man, that was a pretty long nap. What day is it? Today should be August 7th, 2020, right? What? It's June 12th, 2023? But then you got on the mic and you were like, I'm nervous. It's because I'm not fucked up yet.
At this 2 p.m. on a nice Monday afternoon.
Yeah. We had the magic opportunity where I somehow didn't have anything going on today, and you had a day off because you're taking some time from work. And we had been talking a little bit about getting started, about what back up with the podcast, because a couple people had mentioned to us like, oh, we miss it. And yeah. I was always like, LMAO, that's awesome.
Why?
Well, not why, but like a little bit why. I was like, it was just something, it was so doofy and fun, and we just did it because we wanted to, and there was like literally nothing else going on at the time.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, there was literally nothing to do then. That was like prime time pandemic, and we were bored, and we were both back at home from school, and
yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I say there was nothing going on. There was very much stuff going on. Not for us to do, but...
Yeah, couldn't do anything.
No. But the time stopped August 6th, 2020, when the podcast last episode went up. And
it was like a blip.
Yeah, and you know what? It's been just shy of 3 years, and shockingly, everything got better.
And we're not dead.
Yeah,
yet.
Well, yeah, and all the problems that were going on, all the civil unrest, the racial injustice, the public health crisis, the political turmoil, it's actually all fine now.
The world has been cured.
Yeah, we're actually all better. We're doing good. What are you doing?
Oh, my ankle.
Yeah, okay.
My ankle got twisty.
So welcome back, everybody, to Not That You Asked, podcast with Henry and Kiley.
Hello.
Where we're like Seinfeld. It's a show about nothing.
Pretty much. I mean, I think we tried to do like advice.
Yeah,
and then we just really devolved. There was like one episode I think about conspiracy theories and like
that one was
like
a fun
that.
one.
That was a fun one because we had to do research.
I shared my like long ass. It's still my favorite conspiracy theory, the one about the Titanic.
Yes, I do remember that. But actually, mine was about Ted Kaczynski, and guess who just died the other day? Full circle.
Yep. Wow, that's amazing.
That is really weird.
Wow, one trip around the Ted. And we're all good.
The Ted.
One of the other things we did all the time was drink beer and talk about the beer that we're drinking. So today we're drinking.
Still tight head. We still drink tight head beer.
Yeah. I always butcher this word. You want to say it for me?
3 lefts.
Well, okay. I know how to say it in English. Ding dong.
It's called.
Like, what do you mean? It's a word you learn in kindergarten, dude.
It's a number, idiot. It's in Spanish. It's called tres izquierdas.
Thank you.
Which means 3 lefts.
Yeah, that I know. It's really good and really tasty, and I really like it.
It is. And then I'm drinking a Long Snapper IPA. I know that this beer was made with Tight Head because the Long Snapper from the Bears would come here to come to Tight Head all the time. And he was like, yo, I love this beer. Can I make a beer with you? Because I guess he was super into craft brewing.
Is that for real how that happened?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
It's one of the beers that sold in all of the NFL stadiums.
Get out of town. That's so funky.
Okay, I'll leave. Bye.
All right, see ya. Well, it's been a really good episode, guys.
See you next year.
See you in a year. Yeah, so let's recap a little bit, shall we? What's up with you? What happened right after August of 2020?
Man, that's a blur. I'd been doing a lot. Wasn't in the best headspace, but now I'm better. Therapy, TM. But I, right now, I'm a registered nurse. Right after that, I passed my NCLEX probably in like November, which is our like certification exam, and I am getting paid to wipe ass. Take names, so pretty baller.
Wipe ass, take names. That's a good way to describe your job.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did like the most. Well, but you weren't just like, it wasn't just like I passed my NCLEX. Like you passed the NCLEX, and then you also went through like an arduous, difficult, like coming to terms with like being a nurse and job hunting process.
Yeah, I didn't get a job until June of 2021. So I've been a nurse for 2 years now. I just officially had my 2-year anniversary.
I saw it in one of your stories. It was
on
so
the
cute.
7th, yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, it's a little weird. But yeah, it's good.
Well, unfortunately, you became a nurse when things were pretty calm in nursing.
Yeah, I mean, it's really the calmest nursing has ever been.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's been great. No, it sucked.
It's been great. Psych.
Psych, bitches. No, I work on a general medicine unit, which is just like old people and everyone and everything. And at that point, when I started, we were the only COVID unit in the hospital besides the ICU. So did a lot of learning.
Yeah.
Lots of respiratory issues, which was fun. Yeah, it's kind of depressing and not traumatic at all, but it's over, kind of. Not really. The worst of it is over.
Yeah, I was surprised, not surprised, but like it was fascinating to see, like right before my birthday, which is in May. Happy birthday to me, super belated, whatever.
Shut up.
Just tell me to shut up. That they declared they being the World Health Organization declared the emergency status over.
Yeah.
I don't know if that necessarily means that it's like, okay, pandemic status is no longer applied. I think it is, but I don't think it's like I think it's a global health emergency anymore.
Yeah, it's still like it's gonna essentially just be like the flu.
Yeah, it'll be endemic to life.
Yeah, people are still gonna get it. People are probably not gonna keep up on their vaxes. Whatever. That's you do you. I can't make you do what you should, but
Yeah.
it's I mean, every COVID case that we get now, it's always like, oh, this patient comes in with abdominal pain. Oh, they also just tested positive for COVID, but they don't really have any symptoms anymore because most of the people are vaccinated.
Yeah.
And then, or my personal favorite is that we get a psych patient that needs to go to a psychiatric facility, and then they can't because they test positive for COVID, even though they have no symptoms whatsoever. They're fine. But because they have tested positive for COVID, they have to do 10 days plus 1, so 11 days to be quarantined.
Yeah,
and then go to a facility.
They consider 0. Yeah.
Yeah, so that can be fun sometimes. May I tell the most recent story of that?
Oh, please do.
So, I work with this nurse. She is very socially inept. She is horrible with people. She has no bedside manner whatsoever. She's really, I don't know how she became a nurse.
What's her full name and address?
I actually don't even know. She like won't tell anybody.
Oh, that's not good. That's not a good sign.
She's really sketchy, but she's just very rude, says very rude things to patients and doctors. And like, I don't understand it. Whatever. So there's this patient who was a psych patient. The patient was found, she left against medical advice from the hospital the day before.
Always how you wanted to go about that.
Yes. Was found licking the sidewalk in front of the hospital. So they readmitted her.
And, a wise choice.
Yes. But she did have COVID, and so we were just holding her until we found a psych bed for her. And so she was super into coloring. She loved coloring, and she would ask us to print pictures, and then she'd color them and then give them to the nurses and staff members that she liked.
Oh, awesome.
And then, but then if she didn't like you, she'd be like, oh, you want this picture? No, I'm giving it to somebody else. And just like very odd, but whatever.
Yeah.
I never took care of her myself. I was just there for this incident. So I guess she was coloring. This nurse, she goes in to give her medicine, and she notices a marker that's different. It was a Posh. I'm telling you, it's a Posh right now. If you don't know what a Posh is, it's vape.
Love it.
And so
you pulled yours out like we have cameras.
I do. Yeah. I did.
Yeah, no, but that's okay.
But so it was Posh. And so this nurse is like, what's that? And the patient goes, what's what? These are my markers. And this nurse is like, I have 2 children. I know what markers look like. That's not a marker. And then so the patient goes, no, let me show you. It's my special marker. And then she proceeds to take out her Posh and draw on a piece of paper with it. And she goes, oops, must be broken.
That's baller. That is a level 10 move. Being like, bro, this nurse is a fucking narc. Like,
I mean, yeah, we literally have to be. It was, and then so the nurse grabbed it from her and then walked outside, and we were all sitting right there. And she goes, what's this? And we go, that's a vape. And then the nurse goes, what's a vape? We're just like,
the nurse
nicotine.
didn't know what vape was?
I don't know. She lives under a rock, I'm pretty
Bro,
sure.
Yeah, how do you work in public health and not know about, like, one of the most, like, pop culture-y things that's, like, a concern of public health officials across the country and the world?
I know. And, like, we confiscate those all the time. So I don't really know honestly, I don't know how she's a nurse, so that's fine. But then, so we had to confiscate it, obviously.
Yeah.
So then this lady starts freaking the fuck out, slams the door on the nurse, like pushes her out of the way, slams the door on the nurse. And then you can just hear her throwing shit all in her room. Just like throwing and screaming and crying. So yeah, that was pretty fun.
Wow.
And then she had the balls, this lady.
The nurse or the patient?
The patient.
Okay.
She had the balls to open the door and say, someone needs to clean up my room, and then slam it.
Bro.
So yeah, that was pretty fun.
That is an insane tood to have as a patient. Wow. You always tell me things that, like, you experience in your job. And my thought is always the audacity that you must have to be such a massive pain in the ass and then be like, I need you to do this. Like,
yeah. I
mean, it's like, yeah. Not that you should treat people like that at a restaurant, but it's like, I'm not your waiter, dude.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Nobody should be treated like that.
Yeah. No one. Especially not someone who's presently responsible for saving your life. You know? Like, they're only legally obligated not to kill you.
I mean, like, truly, don't bite the hand that feeds you, because
I mean, like, not that you would ever do anything to put anybody in danger ever. No. That's not the insinuation at all. But just that, like, man,
like,
things go better for you when you are nice to the world. That's just kind of a big truism. And the same is true in medicine. Like, it just goes from being, like, it's little things, not even about your care. Obviously, you're going to receive great care because that's just how it's going to go. But, like, you have patients who are good to you, and you find little ways within the wiggle room of your job and the way that you treat and communicate with patients to be rewarding of that.
Yeah.
And so, like, to be a complete dick is just nonsensical. But
yeah, I don't have to be nice.
Yeah.
I can do my job without being a nice person.
Yeah, part of receiving good care, one of the tenets of your job is not be pleasant and accommodating all the time.
Yeah.
It's just, like, save these people, help them heal.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't have to listen to you talk to me about whatever it is, your little grandchild, but I like to do that.
Yeah.
But if you're going to be a dick to me, no, I'm not going to sit and listen to you.
Out of here. I got other patients.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not going to take that extra step if you're going to be yelling at me, calling me a bitch.
Yeah.
Someone literally yelled at me once, called me a cunt because she said I stole her curls. because I have curly hair.
Bruh.
Yeah, we get a lot of dementia patients, which sucks, but sometimes they can be so adorably and pleasantly confused, or they can just be like violent and angry, and it's difficult. I mean, I'm trying to leave. I'm not trying to be there anymore.
Just in your unit?
Yeah, on my unit.
Yeah,
I love my hospital. It's a good hospital, but I do not like working on this unit. I'm very burnt out, and it kind of sucks sometimes. So I'm just ready to leave.
Yeah.
And I will be leaving probably eventually.
Well, and you've talked before about wanting to put in transfers to other units that you feel suit you, not even based on like the patients that you get and the type of care that you're doing. Well, I guess it is that the type of care that you're doing. You have been in situations where like either because of a code or like a rapid response or something where you like a more like faster paced environment that you are confident in your skill set, you're confident in your abilities in that environment, and you feel like you could be doing the greatest good and getting the most fulfillment out of being in a more intensive care. Yeah, and intensive care. And I think that is a wise thing for you to do. I said this years ago, back before you had even passed your NCLEX, and I've said it to you between then and now, and I'll say it to you again right now, and I'm going to say it to you again more in the future, which is that you have an ability to do something that fundamentally I just don't have. And I'm like endlessly in awe of it. And I was then before I saw you doing it, and I am now having seen you do it.
Thank you.
So that's all awesome. The thing that I did in between the last episode and right now is I joined a rock band.
Well, that's not okay. You're correct, but it is now what? It's Monday, the 12th.
The 12th, yeah.
And what happened yesterday, big boy? Little buddy.
Yesterday, I was at my sister's commencement ceremony. It was the second time I was there that weekend because the day prior to yesterday.
Yeah, oops, my bad.
No, it's okay. That's okay. I was at my own commencement ceremony. Halliday and I both graduated from DePaul. My sister and I graduated from DePaul at the same time. Yeah, it was really cool. I got my master's in jazz studies, and she got her degree in English and creative writing. She's a massive brain. She was a finalist for a Fulbright scholarship. And I'm in a rock band.
Okay, but I'll be honest, your rock band be making waves.
Yeah, Uncle Pigeon has been doing pretty good. It's crazy to think about, like, and it's been hitting me in really only in the time since we've been recording. We're at, like, whatever, 15 minutes or so. And you mentioned vaccination. And the time the last episode went up, we weren't even talking about first doses yet.
Yeah,
we weren't even talking about it.
Existed yet?
No,
it was that fall.
It was November that like the first were like, yeah, we're gonna begin rolling out clinical, or not clinical trials. Clinical trials have been underway like in like August, I think. But
they started those, pretty quick.
But the first one had been approved for emergency rollout in November.
Yeah, for healthcare workers.
Yeah, it was like the first. They had the line of people. You know what? I was still working at Chipotle, and we were still working at Chipotle.
Both still working at Chipotle.
And we both got to cut pretty far ahead in line because we were Chipotle workers.
I know. I thought that was the craziest thing because, like, yeah, they had the healthcare workers go first, and then they had teachers. My mom was still a teacher then.
Yeah,
she hadn't retired, and then it was us, and I was like, wait, this seems like this shouldn't be real.
Yeah, it was like frontline workers, and then included people who were working in
service industry.
Yeah, in the service industry, but it was specific corners of the service industry. I think it was like food and goods.
Yeah,
it wasn't like if you that's fine. It wasn't like if you work at like Target, you know.
I don't even know.
Although it might have been Target
because
it's a grocery store. But like if you work at like a hair salon, like it's not like a frontline thing or whatever.
Probably not. Not.
But it was shocking to me that like because I got my first dose at the end of February I got mine right away.
I have mine in my purse. I think I got it like March 1st or something.
Yeah, we got ours right around the same time. I remember doing my first dose and I was like, oh, that wasn't so bad. And then I got my second dose 2 weeks later, and then I had to come in. I took off work because of when I got my vaccine. I knew I was going to be sick. And I got my second dose, and the next day it literally felt like my bones were imploding. I felt so dreadful. And then the next day, so I had the day that I got my second dose, I had off. The next day I had off. But then the third day, I had to come into work. And I was still so sick. Yeah. I was so weak. My joints were hurting. And I was just like, I couldn't do anything. It was whack. Yeah.
Mine were pretty bad too. Both of them were bad.
Yeah.
And then I remember, okay, I will compliment you. Whenever you do get sick, you're not a bitch about it. Like, you kind of just take it.
Oh.
Like, you're not like a little, because like when men get sick, they can be kind of little bitches about it. And it's a pain in the ass to take care of because they're just like, why am I warm? Crying, I feel achy. It's like, shut up. That's normal. Like,
yeah, I see. I appreciate you saying that, but you've never been in a relationship with me when I'm sick, because I'll be like, the only person who will be responding to me all the time is people who like I'm in relationships with, and it's happened a couple times since the last podcast. But I'll just be like like my partner will be like, how you doing? And I'm like, bad. And they're like why? And I'm like, I'm still sick. And they're like, yeah, you were 90 minutes ago when I asked you how you were doing.
Okay, maybe I take that back.
but I one of the things that I remember thinking during COVID is, yeah, maybe the days of not coming to things sick are finally here. Yeah. Like, maybe people are going to be careful about, like, oh, I'm ill, I really shouldn't come in, because it used to be just like so much of our culture all
just
over.
Suck it up and deal with it.
Yeah, just deal with it. Oh, sorry, I'm fixing my microphone. That's probably loud and obnoxious. Sorry. There was just this expectation that, like, you would still be coming in to do stuff. You would still be, like, there was a pretty high threshold for how much illness you could be exhibiting and still be expected to be doing stuff, even in an unspoken way. And in COVID, it was like, if you have the sniffles, stay the fuck home. Yeah. But and I remember thinking that was here, and it came back. It come back. Mm-hmm. Like, people are coming to shit sick all the time.
Yeah, it doesn't last long.
Yeah. But that just kind of happens. It's it's so interesting how much of talking about COVID we've done, just because of the fact that it was so much of the world the last time we were doing this. Yeah. But where so much has happened that's, like, good and fun. Mm-hmm. Some things have improved, many things have not. But the world still keeps on turning, and we still keep on doing stuff. I'm still living down. I moved from living at home, because we were both living at home when we first started this. I moved down to the city, and then you followed suit for a very brief period of time.
Very brief.
Yeah.
Very brief. But now I live alone.
Yeah, you do.
I do live alone.
And I'm envious. Your apartment is awesome.
It's pretty nice. I love living alone. I feel like I'm not bothering anybody by staying up all night or sleeping all day, because I do work night shift. So it's really nice. Yeah. It is really nice. And I can do whatever the fuck I want. Like, I make dinner at 3:00 in the morning. Yeah. It's kind of weird, but that's my life sometimes. Yeah. And then it's not bothering anybody, because I'm very new to cooking. So every time I cook, there's lots of swearing and lots of, what the fuck?
You're so right about this. I remember we talked so much about, you were like, I can't cook anything. I can't cook for shit. Never, ever.
I still can't, but I'm doing it.
You got HelloFresh, not a sponsor, but
no, literally not a sponsor, but it does work out pretty nice. I can pick out my meals, and I live alone, and sometimes my boyfriend and I cook together, and that's pretty fun because he's really good at cooking. And he calls me out on my shit. He's like, why are you doing it like that? I'm like, well, that's how I thought you did that. No, here's a better way to do it. like, here's an example. Like, you know, a lemon zester or a zester thing, whatever. You're trying to zest it. How many times can I say zest?
I was just going to say, you want to say zest for me one more time, actually?
So I was doing it, kind of just like rubbing it like that. And he's like, that's not how you do it. And I was like, okay, how do you do it? And then he showed me this other way. I can't even explain it because it doesn't even make sense to me still. And he's like, try it like this. And I do, oh, okay. So I do that, and then I immediately cut my finger.
Awesome. Awesome. Perfect.
He laughed in my face.
Yep.
That's what a happy relationship is.
Yeah, see, you did a really good job. After the last podcast episode, you did a really good job of getting a partner. I did a less good job than you did.
Well, honestly, like, I don't know how this happened, but I got hella dick during the pandemic, which is, like, so crazy to me.
You did! You were not fucking around. Well, you were, but you were.
I was.
You did that shit like it was your job.
Yeah, I did. Oh, sorry, my mom's calling me. God.
Hey,
no,
Jody.
she can ignore it. But yeah, no, I did, and I really don't know how that happened.
Your mom's calling you to talk about your sexual health.
It was like, no, it literally said, I got hella dick, and then it was a beat, and then she called me. I was like, what?
Oh, she's listening.
She knows. She's got her Jody satellite.
Jody satellite. Yeah, you popped off.
I did. And I don't know how or why.
What do you mean you don't know how or why?
Well, like,
you're confident and fun and good looking. That's how.
Thank you. But, like, I don't know how or why the pandemic was the time to be getting hella dick, but...
What else was there to do?
Yeah, but we should have been quarantining.
You raise a really good point.
I mean, yeah, I don't even know. That was, yeah, but, yeah.
You started seeing Sean right around the time you got a job.
Before, actually.
Yeah.
Before. It was... Because, okay, so I would go to Tight Head and I would study for my NCLEX, and I was so nervous about it. I met him in the fall, and he would always see me studying, and at that point at Tight Head, they only had the tent open, not the inside.
That's right.
Because it was closed because of the pandemic.
I remember when they first opened that thing back up. We were like, oh, we can go and get a table. We would get a table outside in the freezing cold and wait for an inside table to open up.
Yeah. It was very fun. But, yeah, I would study. And then one of the bartenders, Steph, she was like, hey, my friend's sitting out in the cold. He won't bother you. He's quiet. Do you mind if he sits with you? You're inside, like, by a warm heater.
Yeah.
In the tent. Like, do you mind if he sits with you? And I said, sure, that's fine. Then we became friends. We started talking.
Was that Sean?
That was Sean, yeah.
I had no idea that was how you guys met.
Yeah. And not gonna lie, it's pretty cute. But
yeah, that's very cute.
But yeah, we started talking. I don't know why, but like we both remember our first conversation like very clearly. And I don't know why, but we were talking about quicksand. I don't know. Maybe that was him trying to like put the moves on me or something.
It's just a John Mulaney moment.
Probably because he loves John Mulaney.
Yeah.
He literally kind of was like Seinfelding. He's like, so what's the deal with quicksand? I don't know. That was a horrible Seinfeld impression. But
excellent job. Yeah, that was. I didn't realize you were. I thought you were trying to do like your impression of the voice of what Dry Bones would be like.
Okay, cool. Thanks. Anyways, no. Yeah. So we started, becoming friends, and then, pretty much he was like, "I like you," and I said, "Ew, gross. I don't want to date you," and I was super rude. I didn't say that to his face, but our good coworker.
You said that to
Gabby,
my face.
I did. Our good coworker Gabby. I was such a bitch. I was just like,
you were just figuring it out.
I was figuring it out. I was like, oh, he wants to buy my drinks all the time. Ugh. Oh, he just talks to me and compliments me. Ugh. And then our coworker Gabby was like,
just nice
bro,
and good.
what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, Gabby kept it real with you.
Yeah. And then I was like, ooh, maybe I'm the problem. And then I talked about it in therapy. And then I was like, maybe I should give this guy a chance. And then we started dating him March of 2021.
Yeah. Outstanding.
Weird.
Yeah, man. But that's how that shit happens. Like, as much as it happens other ways nowadays.
Yeah.
Which, just in case you have good things to report from the relationship front, which is awesome.
Yeah.
I'm out here in the trenches.
Rest in peace.
On the apps, which is really a sorry state of affairs. It's not going good out here. But you know, what can you do? What can one do?
I will say I'm really good at helping with like Tinder profiles or Hinge profiles.
That's also part of how you did it, is that you had an extremely compelling profile. Like, it was like the right amount like normal and funny. Like, cuz you want to get like it's such a dance of like, I have to tell people information, but I can't just be like, I like books and movies and I like to drink beer and I went to school for this. Like, you can,
that
like,
what I sound like?
No, but like, that's what some profiles read like.
Yeah,
it's just like they take biography very seriously, you know, and they really want to write a full
a book report on yourself.
Yeah,
like, you don't need that.
And but other times people just go too abstract, and they're just like, they'll just post like random little tidbits or like some little quote from something, and it's like, okay, cool. So I don't know anything about who you are. You posted 3 photos of you at like rooftop bars, and you were just like, nothing too serious. And I'm like, okay, so who are you?
Yeah, it's annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I do not envy you.
I don't know. I have to say, being a bachelor is pretty fun. That's kind of nice.
That's fair. You know, I like being in a relationship. It's nice. It's fuzzy.
Well,
warm.
You did the thing that relationships strive to do, in many ways, which is where you're in a relationship that is like not taxing to your lifestyle.
Yeah, no, not
at
all.
Which sounds very clinical to say, and it's also kind of just as like, yeah, no, duh. Of course, that's what you want from relationships. But like, you and Sean have very congruent, like, interests in lives, but you both just like are in different places with like where you're at. He's a little bit older than you are. He's just at a different place in terms of like trying to figure out where he's at. You're in a very stable place where you're just like, I know that this is my job, so it affords me the ability to like, I'm when I'm on the clock, I'm on the clock, but when I'm off the clock, I'm off the clock, and I can dedicate my time in ways that are like fun and interesting to me. And your relationship isn't an escape from your life necessarily. It's not something that you're doing out of convenience. It's something that's like really organic and hasn't detracted in any way from the fact that you're like, I want to do these things in my life. You really have found, like, in the truest sense of the word, a partner, which is really cool.
It is pretty cool. And I mean, I'm going to be honest, like, I never expected myself to be dating the whitest person on the planet.
You did just show me that photo of him at golf.
Oh my God. Like, I love Sean to death so much. He is my really good friend, and also we bang, so that's kind of cool. But
you find a simpler way of saying what I wanted to say is you need to find a friend who also you can like just who will blow your back out.
Get
that's
down
what you want.
with.
Yeah.
But I mean, he is like super white, and I mean, I'm not gonna lie, like, it was the weirdest thing going to meet his family for the first time, because they're the sweetest people and such amazing, awesome, cool, fun parents, but they're very white. And they have they play darts and drink beer, and his dad makes beer out of his basement.
That's
and
sick.
They have a pool table, and they have a bar, which is not something that I'm used to. So like going and hanging out with them, it was just very odd. It was like reverse shell shock almost, or just like cultural shock.
Yeah. Well, because you have
I'm the epitome of culture, so
well, you've got two like very well established and diverse. What's up, Noah? Two very like we're recording it. I should have shouted this out right at the top. Oops. We're recording at Manier Studios here in Libertyville, Illinois.
Hell yeah.
The most fantastic and lovely up and coming recording studio on this side of the Mississippi, and probably in the entire planet Earth.
If you want to contact him, his number is 1-800-NOAH.
Yeah, 1-800-NOAH. Call 1-800-NOAH. Keep calling it. Call it a bunch of times till he picks up. You'll get him. You'll get through. Just keep calling. What were we talking about?
Culture shock.
Yeah.
Yes.
You had like your cultural background, two very distinct like sort of taps into the world. You're really connected to your Jewish heritage and Jewish faith, as well as to being Mexican American, which is like really fucking dope. And
then going to meet his very white family.
Yeah, it's like
very different.
Yeah, like Wonder Bread ass
and
shit.
I mean,
It's not a roast, not a value judgment. Really, just like it's funny that like you had this like the sea of navigating like your identity or whatever, and they were just kind of like, I don't know, we're like the stock car.
I mean, they are always so welcoming to me. Like I text his mom. We do trivia together once a week. Also another white person thing. And it's just, I mean, they're very fun, but it's just different, and it definitely took some getting used to. But now I'm really good at darts. Another white person thing, they play in a bowling league.
Wow.
Year round.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes I have to go to those games, which is a little weird still, because I just sit and watch old people bowl. Yeah, it's just it's weird, but I like it.
Do they have a timeshare in Myrtle Beach?
I wouldn't be surprised.
I was gonna say, because if they do, they hit white person bingo. So
they do. Yeah, they'll get a white person bingo there. Yeah, they're cool.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, like, your family's white, but I never got, like, cookie cutter white people vibes from your family. Your family's different, though.
Well, yeah. I mean, there are parts of my family that are, like, white, but in, like, a colonizer way.
Oh, well.
which is like a little bit scary. I mean, I always joke that my family is a long line of, like, sort of, like, upper middle class liberals who give a shit about other people.
Which I agree.
Which I feel like is a pretty accurate representation of most of the history of my family for the past like 100 years, basically. They're big. They're wasps. They're waspy as hell. And so, but my mom is a yoga instructor and my dad is a musician. So like, of course, like we grew up a little bit more alternative than other people maybe who had our ethnic makeup. Or our cultural makeup, I should say.
I agree. But, like, your dad knows so many people from different cultures, and your mom does, too.
It's just, yeah. Part of it is, like, their industry, but part of it is also just, like, the kind of experiences they seek out and the kind of people they're interested in knowing.
Yeah.
They are all about a diversity of experiences, which is really cool. And
That's
something that
thing.
I respect about my parents, and I'm glad I was exposed to, you know?
Yeah.
But to circle back just a touch, like you've been ingratiated into this family because of your partner.
Mm-hmm.
It reminds me a little bit of, I really loved the family of my last partner.
Yeah.
I really miss them. They were great people. And it is for the best that I'm not with this person any longer. But I do really miss that. I've had a couple partners whose families I've been really close with, and I'm a little bit sad that like that is just like closed off.
Yeah.
I had a partner who had a big family way back when. This was many years ago. This was probably like 6 or 7 years ago now. I think, right? I guess 5 years ago. Yeah.
Excuse me.
And they had a bunch of little siblings, and occasionally like our dates would just be that like they had to watch their siblings because they couldn't all be left home alone because the oldest one was like 13.
Yeah.
And it was like they had a bunch more that were like still in elementary school and stuff, and I would just come over and just like help watch the kids and like entertain and let them like hit me with Nerf foam swords or whatever.
Yeah.
And I loved doing that so much. It was so cute. But
it is kind of fun because Sean's Sean has a twin brother and he's got 2 kids now.
Mm-hmm.
And we've gone down because they live in like Glen Carbon. We've gone down there a couple times to go see them. And man, it's fun hanging out with a baby. I never thought that. I kind of just hate babies for the longest time. But no, this baby,
Because little
Noah,
assholes.
Yeah, Noah is the first one. He's really cute.
We're talking about the baby.
The baby.
Noah,
oh yeah,
by
not
the way.
different Noah.
Not
Sorry.
Noah of Manir Studios fame.
As far as you know.
But actually, Noah is just a giant baby. Both of them. But no, this little baby Noah is cute, and he was like really nice. He wasn't like a brat.
Yeah.
He wasn't crying all the time
Yeah.
like babies do. So I guess maybe he wasn't a baby
Yeah.
if he's not crying all the time.
I wasn't a cryy baby. I was pretty like,
That's fair.
you know how babies
I
are.
wasn't. Yeah, it was a happy cry.
Well, no, I just was kind of like,
Sticking your head in the snow.
I just had like big ass eyes. It was just like, at like everything.
Yeah,
all
you
the time.
did. You did have big eyes when you were a little baby.
Yeah.
I've seen pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a little tiny head, big old eyes. But no, Hallie was a crier. Boy, howdy.
Really?
Yeah, she was colicky.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But no, the babies are so fun. I'm so not in a position where I can ever afford having kids, but because something about the inconsistent income of a performing musician and trombone teacher, something about that really doesn't inspire confidence in terms of fatherhood.
Yeah, that's fair. I highly recommend getting a cat first.
Boy, I want a cat so bad, but my sweet roommate Terry is allergic.
Who? Okay, that sucks.
Yeah, it sucks really
That
bad.
sucks.
Although you know what, I'm watching Joe 2's cat right now.
Okay, that's the cat that I saw. I
Yeah.
was like, wait, I'm confused. But okay.
Yeah.
I love cats. My two friends, they live together, Scott and Jack, or as I like to call them, Skack.
Yeah, really flattering nickname.
Really flattering. They want to get a cat, and I want to get a cat super bad, but I'm allergic. I don't really care if I'm allergic. Sean's super allergic, so now I can't get a cat. But if you don't think I'm about to be the best goddamn cat aunt to this little baby cat that Skack is getting, I'm gonna love this cat to death.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be like perfect. We've been looking at places because I want to go with them to help pay. I said, that's gonna be my Christmas present, even though it's June now.
Yeah.
Because we thought they were gonna get cats a lot sooner, but
Sure.
they did not. So we're gonna go, but we're looking and we found this gray cat whose name is Lance Bass.
Lance Bass. What a great name for a cat.
I know, and he's really cute. I found
Lance
some
Bass.
really good names,
Yeah.
but Lance Bass is the only one that I can remember right now.
I want to name a cat something real stupid. Like
Crunchwrap Supreme. That's what
I always
Steve always.
That's what yeah, we had talked about naming a cat like Taco Bell or Crunchwrap Supreme and saying that when he's going crazy, he's got the zoomies, he's just living moss.
That was a good one.
Which is really, I would love to do that. But no, I want to get a cat and name him like Trunk or something just like real goofy.
That sounds too much like Trump. Can't do it.
Yeah, you're right about that. I really don't I don't want to invoke the memory of the 45th president in any way, shape, or form ever for any reason.
Name him Aglet.
That's a good one. I want to name, I want to name him like Grasshopper. Something really like silly like that. I can name him Goldfish.
I want a cat.
Oh my god, I should name him N64.
Oh, that would be pretty
N64 is
baller.
a funny cat name.
I love Mario. Name him Mario Galaxy.
Bro. I can just name him Zelda. Oh.
Zelda. Oh, that is pretty
I'm
cute.
playing so much Tears of the Kingdom.
Okay.
Ungodly amounts.
So, how are you feeling about it?
Tears of the Kingdom?
Yeah.
I think it's fantastic. I think it's absolutely wonderful. I think that there are people who are like, one of the greatest video games ever made, and I don't think that they're wrong, but I do feel like, I feel like Breath of the Wild kind of broke the seal in terms of making that kind of game, and since Tears of the Kingdom is like literally a direct sequel, I think it would be wrong to say that Tears of the Kingdom dethrones Breath of the Wild.
Okay.
I don't think that Breath of the Wild is a project that Tears of the Kingdom finishes. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I think that Tears of the Kingdom expands upon something in a way that is like so artful and creative and rewarding to the prospect of creating video games. Like, I think that that is one of those games that is a celebration of video games. It is an art installation. Well, so I said this about Breath of the Wild. That Breath of the Wild is an art installation that you have to access by playing it. Get another beer. Good.
Yes,
wise
another
choice.
beer.
Yeah. Whereas I feel that Tears of the Kingdom is more of a video game.
Okay.
There is more of a play element to it than I think there is Breath of the Wild. And even though that play element is like perfectly executed and extremely well curated for the player, I don't necessarily think that even if it functions better as a game, I don't think that it functions any better or in any new way, or in any groundbreaking way in comparison to Breath of the Wild. I think Breath of the Wild is literally the vision of genius. I would go as far as to say that. Like, I think it is so, like, the fact that the developers of Breath of the Wild looked at the landscape of video games and looked at the collective history of a franchise that had not made an innovative or groundbreaking game that was as comprehensive since probably Ocarina, which has its problems as well.
Well, yeah.
The fact that they looked at the landscape of the world and said, "Oh, I know," and then created Breath of the Wild is like actually enlightened. That's crazy.
Okay.
That's intense. But that being said, I am enjoying Breath of the Wild so much. It literally, every time I play the game, it feels like the first 5 minutes of playing it. New things are still happening to me. Going, well, now what if I is still happening to me? And I've put probably 60 or 70 hours in that game.
Yeah. So I'm watching my friend Scott play that game, and it looks so much fun.
Yes.
And so open world and so cool. I'm just not that creative, like how people are murdering the Koroks and like finding all these crazy ways to fly around.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's awesome. I don't know if I could do it.
I think probably, because I know this about you. I know that your relationship with
open world games.
with open world games is a little bit more you prefer things, you like narrative game style, you like RPGs, you like narrative games, but you want more of a it's like a curated experience. You don't want to be creating your own path. You want to be following and appreciating the complexity and sincerity of the path that the game has set for you.
Yes.
I think there is more of that element in Tears of the Kingdom than there is in Breath of the Wild by a pretty large degree.
Okay.
The Breath of the Wild, this is part of the reasons why I appreciate it, is all of the game is optional, except for defeating Ganon. That's the only thing you need to do to actually like beat the game. Everything else you do it your own pace, do it your own way, figure out how to do it. There is no ludonarrative dissonance going on, which is a popular gaming term right now. There's no, like, the things that you do in the game match the story. The things that you do in the open world match the story. There's no disconnect between the gameplay and the story of the game. Everything that you do is important. Everything that you do adds to your experience, but none of it's necessary. Whereas in Tears of the Kingdom, you have to do a lot of things. They're like, go to this place and do this thing. Go to these 4 locations and do this. You have to go to the depths and do this. You have to go to the Sky Islands and do this. And so there is a little bit more of a checklist for you to do.
I do like checklists, though. I am kind of into that.
Yes.
So, I mean, I do have to try them. I would not play Tears of the Kingdoms before playing Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, and you're a fucking real one for that, which is awesome.
Yeah,
Even though I've told you many times that you could do it if you wanted to. You could play Tears of the Kingdom and it would be cohesive and make sense. But you would benefit so much by playing Breath of the Wild.
No,
first.
it's like a mild OCD that I have where I have to do things in order.
Yeah.
But that's okay. I've been playing Mario Galaxy again for the 15 millionth time, but I'm playing it on Switch, which made me realize that I really want to buy a Wii. Like, I really want to buy a Wii so bad. Oh man, I love playing Mario Galaxy and all these other games. I also still have all of my Wii games, like all of them. So
Crazy.
I could just, all I really need to do is get a Wii. I mean, I still have nunchucks.
Mm-hmm.
So I could do that and have no problem just fucking playing. I'll play Twilight Princess again. Yeah, that game fucking sucked, but I'll play it again.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Yeah. And I have not played a lot of those old Zeldas, and so I cannot comment in any way, shape, or form with any degree of, like, authority on what those games' problems or miscalculations actually were. But I have watched playthrough of Ocarina of Time, of Twilight Princess, of Skyward Sword, of a bunch of Zelda games from that era, from historical eras, and specifically like the Wii era, like the Wii and Wii U era.
Yeah, that Twilight Princess game was very buggy, and I do remember that Link could turn into like a ball or something, and he could like roll. Oh yeah, that too.
He's got Midna on his back.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah,
but
sometimes there are less inspired elements to the game.
Yes, that was a questionable choice, but it was still a choice, so I respect it.
It sure was.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to play the original Mario Galaxy again.
Yeah.
The older versions of like Mario Party was so much fun on the Wii. Mario Golf is so much fun.
Yeah.
I truly am like a huge Mario nerd, but
Love it. Mario's great.
Recently just watched the Mario movie with my friend.
And what was your takeaway?
Well, we may or may not have been under the influence of something, so that was pretty fun.
Something you shouldn't admit in recorded
No,
form.
probably not, but it was very, very fun. I actually kind of liked it. At the time, I was like, Mario is doing Mario in the movie, but it was, and like
Dude,
my friend and I,
controller, he's just doing it.
he's just doing it, and I think like my friend and I wanted to see this movie originally because it was kind of a joke. Like we're like, Chris Pratt is gonna be Mario and Charlie Day is gonna be Luigi. We're like, what?
And
the
Jack
fuck?
Black as Bowser. It's a fucking meme.
Okay, but actually, Jack Black as Bowser was really good.
Yeah, no, you couldn't. I would be mad if they got anybody else.
I mean,
Unless you got like Patrick Stewart, like that'd be awesome.
It was a lot better than I thought it was. But it also had like so many levels of nostalgia because it had the original Donkey Kong like levels that you could do. They had original like Mario stuff. They had stuff from Mario Galaxy. They had stuff from really old Mario.
Yeah,
and
that's awesome.
it was very fun. The thing that I was the most disappointed about was the lack of Mamma Mia's and Wahoos.
Oh yeah, I mean,
I thought it was gonna be like through the roof. There were only like 5.
lame.
I was so disappointed in the lack of Mamma Mia's.
Yeah,
Truly.
I mean, if you're not gonna hire someone who's gonna do like the let's go, like then by hiring Chris Pratt, then what you need to do is make Chris Pratt do his terrible Mario impression for the entire movie. You made a bad choice, but then instead of living with that bad choice, you tried to save face by having him be a little bit more normal. What? No, fuck you. Make a
Yeah.
bad choice all the way. Make Chris Pratt sound stupid. Make me hate his voice acting. Do it. Do it right now.
So actually, in the movie, they have their moment in the beginning where they're doing their full Mario Luigi voice, and it was actually a lot better than I thought it was.
Oh, really?
It was pretty good, actually.
Okay,
They both did pretty good impressions.
Who was Luigi again?
Charlie Day.
It was Charlie Day.
Yeah, but they did also have the guy who's the actual voice actor for Mario in there.
He made a cameo appearance?
Yeah, he made a cameo appearance, and you could hear it because it was the traditional, like, let's go.
Yeah.
but it was not as bad as I thought it was.
Okay.
So, I mean, they had references to Luigi's, like, Haunted Mansion, whatever.
That's
Luigi
great.
Mansion. That was really cool.
Someone mentioned to me that movie is really good when you're high. I'm not sure if that applies to you, but in case it does, that's just something that I heard from someone.
Yeah. I don't know who said that, but they're wise.
Oh shit. We're at about time here probably.
Yeah, probably.
This is a good little catch-up session.
This is a little
When are we going to see
ketchup and
everyone next?
mustard.
What are you thinking, like 2027? It's probably
At
going to be the next one.
least.
Yeah, we got to wait a really long time.
Maybe
No,
in another 10 years.
we'll talk briefly as we're wrapping up here. We got together again to do another one of these because we just missed doing it so bad.
Yeah.
Because it was really fun, and because people really liked it, and it was a good way to connect with friends. And we had like a lot of friends who are like live in different places. At least I had friends who live
Yeah.
in different places mention that they missed it, and even like kind of recently. So we'll be doing more.
Yeah, I
be
think
doing
so. Not as often, but maybe every once in a while.
Yeah,
Throw-
and
once a quarter.
yeah. I like
Once
that.
a trimester.
I like that. But one of the things I don't think I mentioned to you, but that I could mention right now, is I started telling people about it, and they were like, "Can I come back on?"
Oh, yeah, so for our page, when you posted that thing that we were going to be recording and a new episode was going to be released, I clicked onto it because we both have access to it.
Yes.
And I saw that Kai Julin was like, "Do you need a guest?"
Yeah, and
I did see that.
him and I talked about it a little bit in person a couple weeks ago, so maybe that'll be true in the upcoming episode.
future.
We'll maybe have a little guesty situation on. We'll
Little
coordinate
guesty
it.
testy.
Yeah, a little testy guesties. But cool. Well, welcome back to Not That You Asked.
Welcome back.
For sure, I would say that it's appropriate to say Not That You Asked, but a bunch of people asked about the podcast, and we're really happy that people did.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I showed it to Sean, and he was like, "You need to record again. I think you guys sound awesome."
oh, that's so sweet.
I mean,
man.
maybe he's biased because we bang, but that's okay.
Well,
I'll take it.
I'll take that from him. And hopefully one day him and I can bang.
I'll try and set it up.
Yeah, please do. Let me have sex with your boyfriend.
Oh, okay.
All right, we'll see everyone later. Bye guys.
Bye.